জগত হলো উজালা মধুর নামটি যাপন কর ওহে মুমিনেরা আল্লাহুম্মা সাল্লি আলা সাইয়্যিদিনা ওয়া মাওলানা মুহাম্মাদিন ওয়া আলা আলিহি وأصحابه وسلم اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم.
You're listening to Peterborough's community radio, Salam Radio.
Assalamu alaikum, dear listener. Welcome to Salam Radio, the voice of knowledge and inspiration. I'm Mehtab.
Wa alaikum salam, everyone, and I'm Shamir. We're thrilled to have you join us today for a brand new episode of Education Matters.
That's right, Shamir. Education Matters is your go-to destination for all things education. Whether you are a student, a teacher, a parent, or just someone passionate about the power of learning, this is the show for you.
Absolutely, Mehtab. Each week we'll dive deep into the world of education, exploring the latest trends, innovations, and challenges in the field. We'll also bring you inspiring stories, expert interviews, and practical tips to help you navigate the educational landscape.
Excellent, excellent. I mean, the best part is we're not here to lecture you. We know you as a parent, you as a student, and teachers out there and the learners, you guys are experts in your own field. We are just here to have meaningful conversation to engage with you, our wonderful listener. So if you have any questions, thoughts, or any ideas about education, don't hesitate to reach out to us.
So grab your favorite cup of tea, settle in, and let's embark on this educational journey together. Education Matters starts now.
Excellent. So in terms of favorite cup of tea, what's yours?
To be fair, I don't really drink tea myself.
Do you know?
Just a nice glass of wine brew with this.
Excellent. Mine is Builders with the 2 sugars. Excellent. So I mean, I think the teachers are known for always having a lot of tea. A lot of tea. Right. So if you'd like to get involved, please do by calling 01733 602 133. That is 01733 602 133. You can also get involved by texting us, and our number is 07411 191062. Please do get engaged through comments on the live stream. The live stream is available on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. And those of you that are listening to it being recorded previously or listening to it later on rather than now, do please feel free to still leave your comments. Any questions, myself and Shamir would like to know what you guys think, and would like to answer those in our next episode. So if there is anything that you guys like to get involved, even if you're listening to it later than today, please do leave your comment, and any questions, we'll be more than happy to get involved. Before we go into the show, with it, the weather has changed dramatically. So, because the raincoat's out, and it can be, with the school run, can be difficult with the rain, especially just now, running
especially
in.
the wet breaks.
Yeah, wet breaks. All right. In school, obviously, when it rains, there's an allocated space for the year groups, and sometimes we have to keep them in the classroom, and they can have their break there, which means then we do not get to get out the classroom perhaps for all day. So hence why wet breaks are not the favorite part of every teacher. Right. So in terms of this week so far, how's your week been, Shamir?
Yeah, alhamdulillah, really good week. So everything seems clear. It's just early days in the school year. So as long as we're on top of our routines and stuff, yeah, pretty straightforward.
Excellent. Now myself, I haven't been able to go into work due to having a few commitments at home. So this is my 3rd day off. And when us teachers have to have a day off, what normally happens is we still have to plan our work, the cover work, and we have to send that in. So that way, as a parent, listening to us today, even if your child's teacher is not in, the cover is still set by them, the work is set by them. So the main teacher will know exactly what your child did for that lesson, and will be able to plan going forward from there. So if you have, if your child comes home and say, my teacher's not in today, because I think all of my students will be, don't worry, because the work, whatever they're doing in their classroom, they're still following the scheme of work, the scheme of learning. And in terms of their progress, their learning journey is not interrupted. We still have a bank of teachers in school who are then covering the lesson, and it's always, depending on different schools, but we will always try to make sure there's a subject specialist covering those lessons as well. So that has been my week, and obviously apart from that, just the weather, alhamdulillah, I've been blessed with the rain. The first few weeks it was quite difficult, I would say. It was such a hot weather. I had to take a fan from home.
It's a big contrast, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And the students, obviously, we as adults find it very difficult. So you can only imagine with the students, it can be very tricky. Right, so this week, the episode that we'd like to work on, I think we did put a post out there just making you aware what is that we're talking about today. So Shamir, if you'd like to just introduce the topic for today.
Yeah, so today, quite a big one, to be fair. Really, really important topic. We're going to be diving deep into a topic that affects students, parents and teachers alike, and it is homework.
Oh, homework.
And as you can see, I've done my homework this week. I've done a lot of research on the topic of homework.
It looks like you're doing your homework, yeah?
Yeah, I'm doing a bit of my homework now.
Excellent.
But it's a really, really big topic
100%.
in school.
100%. I think with the advance of technology, the managing of the homework, whether it's from the parents, from the teacher, from the student, it has become easier. There are many different platforms that are used by many different schools, which the parents are involved as well. And I think that's really important. With the new platforms where when the homework is handed in, for example, and the teachers are able to update that and reward the students, parents can see that straight away, and that's a positive appraisal that we are kind of using in our settings at the moment, where we're trying to celebrate and the achievements of the students from their homework to encourage more number of students to complete their homework. So I think over the years it has been, before where it used to be like, here's the homework, get it done, and then in terms of,
I think what you're getting at is the communication has
made
become
it easier.
A lot more clearer. You can't say the dog ate your homework anymore.
Yeah.
It's all obviously digital. It's all online.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think that will help, in terms of helping the educational journey of all students. Doesn't matter what year you are in. If we, get this homework completed and, get everything that is due done, it will kind of put you in an advanced level and making sure that everything is covered for you. So, it is an integral part of education journey. It can be sometimes be a source of stress, though. There has been a number of students who can find it stressful. The fact that the homework's not complete, just the fact they can see on the system homework's not completed. So hopefully in today's episode, we'll explore how to strike the right balance, when it comes to homework. Yes, we as educators, I'm sure you as parents and students out there, would like to make the homework as a very valuable learning tool rather than become burden, because there are a lot of students who do struggle with it, struggling with the stress. So we're hoping that with today's show and with the support of our parents, teachers, students, that we can find that right balance.
Absolutely, Mehtab. We have a fantastic lineup for you today, including expert insights, which is me and you, real life student experiences, hopefully with you guys, listeners, for calling in today, and some practical tips for making homework more manageable and meaningful.
So do please, stay with us as we unpack the art of homework, addressing questions, how much is too much? How much is too much homework? And how I think it's important where you are doing your homework as well. Someone would argue if the TV in front of you with a phone in your hand, and with your brother probably playing or sister playing PS5, and then you sitting there trying to do past paper.
I'd probably join in.
With a PlayStation.
Yeah, if it was FIFA, I'd probably join in.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we want to know. We want to know, or we want to obviously have that conversation of what we like to call an effective study environment. I think it is important that the environment where they are learning, you wouldn't see that in a classroom where we are hoping that is the most effective learning environment. If I've seen so many students that I know that are in university, if you go to the central library, they come there, and there's a reason why they go there, because that is the comfort zone for them. That's a learning environment for them. And I think today, hopefully, we'll pick up on what we think is a effective learning environment, not having to go to the library. We're not asking all parents, send your kids to the library to do the homework, but within the comfort of your own home, where your parents can be there to support you. The parents can be there, just for safeguarding purpose, keep an eye on you, because, if you're in the library, they're probably worrying what time you're going to get home and so on. How can we make our home environment, part of our home environment, a very effective study environment, and how you as a parent can support the child's journey, the learning journey of this? I think we want to get rid of the fact that we touched upon last week. Was it last week when I surprised you, and hopefully you were very impressed with my language, because a lot of the listeners, our brothers and sisters out there, they said they loved it. They loved it.
Yes, I've been playing that ever since.
Excellent.
No, you definitely actually did. It surprised me.
I didn't.
You didn't surprise
me. No,
excellent.
That's good to hear. I mean, I think we using that language as
I think if I started that segment, I would have surprised you.
Sorry?
If I started that segment,
yes,
before that break interrupted me, I would have surprised you.
You would have. Excellent. I mean, I think it is very, very important, and I think it'll be good to know what our in terms of language, and not showing, I can't understand the homework, how do I help my child, and so on. Hopefully in today's show we will be able to give you hints and tips of how you can support that.
And remember, so dear listener, your participation matters. So if you have questions or thoughts on homework or any educational topic, do feel free to reach out to us on social media or through our website. And Mehtab did give all the channels earlier how you can communicate to us.
Excellent. Right, so first of all, I think it's important to just head on deal with the dilemma of homework. Yeah. So I think it's important to discuss the different views, perspectives that are on homework out there.
Yeah, absolutely. We need to get that out there.
Of course. And is it essential? I know it's going to be shocking, but we as teachers, we are just opening up a platform, a discussion point. There are going to be opinions shared. And we want to know, is the homework essential? Is it time for a change, do you reckon? So hopefully we will be able to share the research that we have done from the students, from the parents we spoke to, from the teachers that we spoke to get a better understanding on those questions. From those people there, those are the stakeholder people involved in the education. So we will share that with you guys, what their perspective is on homework. So is it essential? Is it time for a change?
Well, homework itself has been debated for over a century. While we're unsure who exactly invented homework, we do know that the word homework dates back to ancient Rome. So you can imagine this debate has gone on for quite a while. But yes, so many dilemmas, so many
Yeah.
pros, so many cons. We were talking earlier about the different pros and cons of homework. So some would say homework improves student achievement. I think that's a general consensus of why we aim for kids to have that in the first place. Some would argue too much homework can be harmful. So where do we find the right balance? And how do we, like you said earlier, how do we make it effective?
I just to add on to that, one of the comment from our parent, there shouldn't be any homework. All study should be during school hours, and the learning needs to be split over a period of time so information is retained better.
Okay.
Also, physical exercise before study can help retain information better.
Which is a
Thank
fair
you
point.
very much, Brother Faisal, for your comment, and please do keep them coming in. We would like to know what you guys think. As a parent, even if you're working in a school, let us know what you guys think. I mean, like you said, there are schools out there that have said no homework. They manage the way they manage differently. So, they're just gone with, we're not going to set homework. We're going to manage the learning in the school hours.
But I'm guessing they would have expect more
Yeah.
progress and understanding to be shown in the lessons then
Yeah.
of topics.
I mean, there are schools in the EU where the way they work in terms of the number of days that they actually go to school and the way they are assessed is done differently. They have way less than every school in the UK. And I think the important part is obviously to take into account is the culture that has been set, the standards that have been set. Everyone is different, and I think the cultures in the other countries might be done differently, where the students may be expected to do a lot more in school, or the way they are taught, or their core subjects would slightly be different. There is also like project learning, for example. There's a school in Switzerland that do project learning. So
Just to go back to your point. So I've worked in schools where they don't set homework. I've worked in schools where they do set homework. One recent survey by Trade Smarter, students in classes that were assigned homework outperformed 69% of students who didn't have a homework. And that's on both standardized tests and grades. So what would you say?
I mean,
What would
my
you say
view
to
is, for example, like obviously we're specialists in maths, right? For maths, there is a platform, Sparks Maths. I think probably 80% of schools in Peterborough are signed up to that, I think. And if not that, you got Hegarty Maths, or you got
very
various
similar
different
portals.
Yes. And for primary school, there's that TT Rockstar, for example, right? My nephews and nieces, they're on there as well. And it's done in a very competitive way, which kind of helps students to complete the homework. My view is, there should be homework. There should be homework, especially in this, in the way our school timings are, and the way of all the lessons that are set there. I think it is important to have that homework. So many different topics that are taught in a way that they are taught. You got maths, you got English, you got science, then you got art, then you got maybe geography, right? Next day you got different lessons in a different kind of hours. So you might have maths in the afternoon, and you might have geography in the morning. You might not even have geography for another week. So what happens to a student that had a geography on a Monday, but then doesn't have geography till the following Monday? Right?
Yeah, so that happens quite a lot with the not so core subjects. So
I mean, they're important subjects, but one.
Yeah, of course.
Do you see what I mean? So would you say homework is essential, that they need something in the middle, so that way their brain is still taking that information in? And I think right now with what we have is, for example, the Sparks Maths. That has enabled us as teachers to personalize the homework.
So we rely on that AI technology.
What it does
get
is
to know
it
the
just
student,
looks
yeah.
at the questions that students are getting wrong and give them more practice of that. So and the way it's set up, so wherever we teach students this week, they're not going to get homework straight away on that. they will be given homework in about 2 weeks' time, maybe 3 weeks' time.
Based on today's
Yeah.
homework. Yeah.
So what you are doing is then you are retaining that knowledge, going back on it, because over time, our education, the way it's set at the moment is what I like to call linear. So you are learning. You are assessed, the midterm assessments, the end of term assessments, but your summative assessment is done at the end of the year. Your formal summative assessments are done like 5 years later. So in terms of you having to get to that journey, what if you forget what you learned in January by the time you are hitting summer? What if you forget what you learned in September? So I think personally, homework is essential. But later on, I think, if I remember correctly, the strategies for effective homework is where we are going to discuss and about parents getting involved and the striking the balance. So right now, I personally think homework is important due to the linear scheme of learning, due to obviously I'll be honest with you, how many times have you had a lesson where, okay guys, what did you learn yesterday?
And it's gone blank. Yeah, that happens. I mean, that happens quite a lot, very regularly. But
sorry, just what did you have for dinner last night?
last night, tough one.
Do you see my point?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember now. But
Yeah, that's your
You put
homework
me
for
on the
next
spot
week. This is what I mean. So I think the way we human take information,
what
we
did I
need
have?
to have a in a circular mode. So where
Oh yes, come back to me now.
I just so I thank you, brother Faisal. Thank you for getting involved. I love it. He had dal.
Actually, yeah, it's just come back to me now. So I had keema around my mum's yesterday. So
this
it
is
was
what I mean. You
lovely.
see, and if you, for example, what you had yesterday, and then you reminded yourself in the morning, yeah.
So are you saying
keema.
I should have homework on the roti salad I had last night?
No. I think it is homework.
Would
Is
homework help me?
homework.
Basically.
Homework will definitely help people,
Okay.
and I think the way it's managed, striking the balance is what we need to focus on. And I think it's strategies for effective homework is what we need to talk about. I think that's what we're
Yes.
going to do. So in
Right.
terms of this current segment, the dilemma, there are many researchers. I mean, I'll be honest with you. For me, as a personal experience, for the past 5-6 years of teaching, I have seen immense progress. I can't give you the exact figures at the moment, but let's just say if you were to look at 30 students, right, and 25 of them complete that homework, they are, completing it week in, week out. I can guarantee those 25, at least 23 of those students, okay, will see a significant change in their grades,
If they
in
did
their
the homework.
performance, because of their homework. And I
Okay.
know it's because of their homework, because the homework that we have set, they are getting those questions right. So I will always be support. I think it is.
I mean, for the sake of the debate here, I want to stay neutral. I've got my own views on it, but I really want to listen to our listeners, see what they think. Does homework improve student achievement? Is too much homework harmful? What do you guys think?
Well, we got Mustafa here. Thank you very much for getting involved, Mustafa.
Is that the famous Mustafa Kareem?
Yes, it is. I believe students are responsible for their own learning. So homework should be
Yeah,
set on a check this out, on a weekly and optional basis. Oh, wow. That itself is
Mustafa,
another...
hasn't it been optional for you for the last 5 years, mate?
I think that is another whole show, a whole episode on that, weekly and optional basis. One of the ways to retain information is to create connection with other things. The brain works by I love that. I always been a big fan of, like project learning, connecting our whatever we're learning. So for example, if we're doing fractions, for example, then we would always talk about how that is linked to everyday life. So I think connecting information does help, and homework could be a way of that. Anything else to add before I go on to our next segment, Shamir?
We've got a couple of minutes for the ad break, so I think we might need to start the next segment after the break. We could wrap up this first point with the dilemmas. So just trying to give you guys a bit of a heads up on what some of the arguments are for homework, some of them are against homework. You guys might have your own opinions and views on it. But from my homework earlier, just going through this list, you've got so many different pros and cons. Another one would be, this is a pro. So homework helps to reinforce classroom learning, like you mentioned earlier, while developing good study habits and life skills. One of I think a really important point that we probably haven't touched upon is, so by setting homework, do you not agree, or would you not agree, that this enables us to have discipline and habits and good habits in our everyday life?
Yeah.
Leading on to our jobs and stuff later on. Would homework not be a good argument to set those
I agree
tones
with that.
and routines before we get to the stage of having good habits every single day of our life, when we get to a job or a career later on?
It's definitely a way to set one. I mean, I wouldn't. Yes, I mean, I would, if I counter argument that, you know, it's a very good way to set a routine, but it's not the only way.
Absolutely.
If you, let's just say, you know, in a
But would it help though?
in a Mustafa Kareem world, right?
Yeah.
They said no homework, right? Well, can the parents set something in return instead of that?
Is this beyond the celebrations or?
Well, that is the reason why it is very important to have this discussion, because I think the dilemma of homework, it can go on, and I think, first of all, thank you for those of you that got involved on this segment, and I think it is a discussion that definitely to be had, and if there is any more comments, please do let us know. After the break, we're just going to take a short break. After the break, we will discuss about the effective homework. Again, could be the reasons linked to this as well.
Mm-hmm. We're going to go into the parental involvement and support.
And also, you know, let's look for a striking the balance for the homework.
To wrap it up, yeah.
Thank you very much, and see you after the break.
Stay tuned to